What is there to do in the Dominican Republic if you're cruising? Let's talk about it. We just went on a cruise that stopped at the Dominican Republic, Puerto Plata to be specific. And we want to tell you about our experience there and some things you guys can do to make your port experience a little bit better.
The first thing I want to mention is that pier where we dock is a super long walk to the actual port. So to try and help people with this, they do have little tuk-tuks that are free. You should tip them, but you can take a tuk-tuk to the end of the pier, and when you're coming back, same thing, or you can walk it, whichever way. They did a nice job though, making that long pier beautiful. You get to actually look at the new built up, I guess resort area you would almost call it, the way they built it up along the way. So you're building anticipation as you're walking down that pier.
Yeah, so that new port area is called Taino Bay, and it's really nice. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how nice of a port area it is.
So they have lots of shops, they have lots of pools, lots of different areas to actually go and relax in. So once you dock, you do want to get off the ship early because that port area will be relatively empty, and you'll have your pick of day beds, you'll have your pick of pool chairs. They've got the flow rider there as well. There's shopping that are starting to open, so that's the only downside of getting off early. Those shops aren't open yet, but you'll want to snag a day bed. So we got to see lots of prime real estate where you are in the middle of the lazy river, and it's gorgeous. So once you get off the ship, head straight to the pool, grab your spot, and you'll be set for the day.
Yeah, if you look at this footage, you'll see, there's actually like beds in the pool type setups. There's chairs all around it. There's a nice covered cabana behind it. There's tons of nice areas to relax at for free here. So if you have somebody that wants to do shopping, somebody wants to sit by the pool, somebody that wants to be at a bar, you can all easily do this at the same time in the same area without ever leaving the port, which is really cool and really nice.
And they have a lazy river there that goes all around the port with beautiful views, even of the cruise ships. And they monitor this lazy river. So you do have to be in one of their inner tubes. And once all the inner tubes are gone, the lifeguards will actually have everybody line up at the entrance. So you have to wait for an inner tube to become available to come in. So you don't have kids running around, splashing. You can actually ride and enjoy the lazy river.
Yeah, just keeping it a lazy river, honestly. Which is kind of neat. I know some kids may want to run around and splash and stuff. It is a lazy river and the pool's not that far away. So just another reason why you're going to want to get there early is to make sure you can get one of those rafts if the lazy river is more your style. So speaking of getting there early, if you're wanting to leave the port, one of the main things I would recommend doing early is the Teleferico, or the cable car that goes up to the top of the city. So we went and explored first, but let me tell you why I would go the other route. By the time we got to Teleferico, we were in a long line. So you walk in to the ticket counter, you go to pay, and it looks like there's nobody there. That's because the second you buy your ticket, they send you upstairs, and they have a long queue that just goes back and forth with railings that you have to be in. It's rather narrow and tight, and it takes a long time for this to move because each car only holds about 10 people, and the cars don't come very quickly. It's a long ride up and a long ride back. So it takes a long time. We waited over an hour and a half, and we never even made it to the front of the line. It got so long that we asked, what's the line like up top to come back? And the guy said, well, everyone that was in front of you is in line up there to come back. So it's basically the same. So basically this would have been a 3-hour wait without including the actual journey to see the top of the mountain and take pictures and all that stuff. Because of that, we didn't stay. We ended up going down, they gave us our money back, and we left because we had to get back to the ship. We didn't want to get left at the port since this wasn't a royal excursion. So if this is something high on your bucket list, I would go early, and we have plenty of time to do that, and then you can walk around the city or travel however you want. To make things more tolerable while you're waiting in line, they do have a band of 4 older gentlemen there that are playing. They play local style music. It was really cool. One of them even made their own homemade instrument, which is like a box with like these metal tabs that he hits, and it kind of makes like a bassy sound. So it was cool. We actually have some footage of that here for you. But as you can see, there is a long line there. and it does take time. So this is how on your bucket list, go do that first. Another important thing to know is that it is not a safe area to walk to from the port to a Teleferico, and it's also not close. So go ahead, grab a taxi and take a taxi there. We didn't use a taxi from inside the port. We walked just outside the port, maybe a block or two up, grabbed the taxi there. Obviously, it's much cheaper there. Being able to communicate in Spanish, we're able to negotiate the price down a little bit. I'm sure you could do the same with cash, but definitely take a taxi there. It did not look like the part of town you want to be walking through.
And it was also walking up the side of a mountain. So I don't know how wonderful it would be to walk a mile straight up just to get to a destination. I would be like half dead.
So the rest of the port. So the first thing we did when we left is we started walking. We walked into the city. We wanted to go see the major landmarks. So the first thing we did was go to El Paseo de la Dona Blanca. So the passage of the White Lady. However, it was Pink Street, right? It's the Pink Street that you see, and it was beautiful. So I'll have some footage of it going here for you. And while we walked down there, I was just amazed. Literally everything was pink. The floors, the walls, the gates, the flowers, the pots. They had random bicycles and phones and just all sorts of things pink there. It was really beautiful to see. Mm-hmm. We were told that it was painted pink in memory of the lady that owned the hotel there who died of breast cancer. So they did this as a memorial to her, and it was really pretty, very easy, short walk to do. Obviously, the later you go, the more people will be there. So this is kind of one of those games where you got to play what's more important for you to go. Do you want empty pictures of this, or do you want to go see a Teleferico?
And they had lots of tour groups going in. So this was a normal size street, so it wasn't any wider. So when you had the tour groups coming in with like 20 plus people, that filled up the entire street. So there were no pictures. You were like bumping shoulders with everybody. On that case, it was nice that we got there early to have pretty much the whole street to ourselves to explore.
For sure. And like she said, there was tour groups here. It was literally a straight walk from the port to there. Maybe we made one turn. Very easy to do with Google Maps. I would not pay for a tour here. If you're comfortable walking, you can get there so quick. It was maybe a 10-minute walk, and we were there. So if you walk about a block closer toward the port, you're gonna get to Umbrella Street. This is your typical umbrella street that you'd see, you know, in San Juan or in Cartagena or in these other places. It's a street covered with different umbrellas. They change them out seasonally. They have the shops, a couple restaurants and bars there, some flowers. It's very pretty to see. Just one of those touristy milestone places to go to say that you've seen it. Very easy to walk, very easy to get to.
And they had people that were dressed up in traditional wear, so you could take pictures with them. They had people with birds. If you wanted to feed them or have them sit on your shoulder, your head to do a picture. So they had those other interesting opportunities as well. You did have to pay for those separately. So you could walk down the street and explore. But at the front and end of the streets, they did have these people there for extra opportunities.
So walking back towards Pink Street, you go up about another block and a half and you end up getting to Central Park. It is not like the Central Park that you're thinking of. In New York, it is much smaller. It's really more of a plaza than a park. It's all paved. When we were there, it was Christmas Day, so there was a ton of Christmas decorations. They had little stations set up. One of them was about Santa, one of them was a nativity scene. They had places to take pictures with wreaths and with lights. There's a little gazebo in the center that you can go to. But right next to that is a Catholic church, and we walked in there. We're able to see some mass going on, take a quick picture there as well. So really easy walk, really easy to get to. Basically, within 20 minutes of the port, you can walk, see Umbrella Street, Pink Street, and their Central Park area. No problem, no issues, very safe, very easy walk. So walking back down to the port, we took the other road at the other end of Umbrella Street, walking down, and we were able to walk through there. We actually ended up finding a bunch of very nice murals that were painted all over. I'll put a couple pictures up here for you. One of this bulldog was 2 stories tall. It was literally the entire side of the building. We looked up the artist on Instagram and found out that it was a tribute to his dog that had passed away. It was really pretty. I thought it was really nice that they took the time to beautify their city like this and that they have that kind of support. Very nice. We had no issues with locals. We had no issues buying anything there, communicating with the taxi drivers. Everything was relatively easy. The only letdown there really was that we didn't get to ride the cable cars, and that was kind of our fault. We went later on in the day and we ran out of time.
And also one of the highlights, going back to the ship, all the shops were now open. So when we went back into the port area, everything was open, it was packed, and we stopped into one of the chocolate stores. So you had an opportunity. One of the excursions we didn't do, which would have been kind of fun, was a chocolate tour. So the Dominican Republic is known for their chocolate. We stopped into the store and we tasted their hot chocolate. And let me tell you, these were the richest, smoothest, most flavorful hot chocolate I've ever had in my life.
I honestly don't know how they did it, but we ended up buying a bag of their hot chocolate mix and took it home. It tastes nothing like their hot chocolate. I thought I knew how to make hot chocolate. I do not know how to make hot chocolate. So we're gonna have to book another cruise going back there just so I can go find out what I'm supposed to do. If one of you are going there, can you please go ask them and comment down below what the recipe is for this thing? I thought it was just gonna be adding the chocolate powder into either milk or water. That's not how it works.
And there are no instructions on the bag. We figured just like in the US, everything has instructions on how to make it. This does not. It tells you the ingredients and good luck. So we've been experimenting at home, have yet to figure out how to duplicate this magnificent chocolate, and it failed every time. So walking back to the ship, of course, having our 3-year-old, she was exhausted. We were exhausted. We walked all over the city at this point. So we took advantage of the free Tuk Tuk ride on the way back. And these are just like the Tuk Tuks that are in Europe. So lots of fun. We enjoyed reminiscing on that. Our daughter got to experience her first little ride, and then we did tip them at the end.
If you're going to Puerto Plata, just know there's plenty of options. You can either stay in their beautiful Taino Bay, spend all day there with limited money, or you can go walk around for free, see the city on your own. It's very easy to do, or you can pay for an excursion and do the same things. Remember, if you're gonna go to Teleferico, you're gonna wanna take a taxi and you're gonna wanna get there early. The mountain does tend to cloud up top sometimes, so try to check the weather. You're gonna go up there and pay, because they do say that depending on the weather, you may not have much of a view at all. Plan accordingly. If it looks like rain or it looks like there's gonna be fog, maybe skip that so you don't waste your time and your money going.
So have you gotten to go to the Dominican Republic? More specifically, did you get to go to Puerto Plata? What did you guys do? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you wanna help the channel, consider clicking on this video here and watching some more of our cruise content.